What's up, K-Divas, and welcome back to the channel this week. My name is Priscilla. I'm a Nigerian women's wear designer based in the UK. In this video, I am going to be sharing my top 9 places to shop fabrics in store. This is actually a video idea from one of you guys. If I remember your name and I remember the email, I would insert it somewhere on the screen. She was like, I might be visiting the UK soon and I just need, a concise and curated list of shops that I could possibly go to get fabrics in person. So I'm going to be sharing my 9 top spots. These are shops I've actually been to, I've shopped at, and I'm going to be sharing where they are, what the price point is like, and just any other tips that I think will be useful to know. Now, if you'd like to find out these, make sure to keep on watching. I'm going to leave all the shops mentioned down below with addresses and any useful contacts. So if you wanted to go there for yourself, you have the freedom to do so as well. This is a video you could possibly save on your playlist somewhere and refer back to in the future when you just need like a guided list or places that you could possibly shop for fabrics for yourself or for your brand. Okay, now if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, like a lot of you watch and not subscribe. Please ngwanu, subscribe, because it helps my channel. It helps me know what you guys enjoy as well when you like the video, and all that feedback is very helpful for the platform. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So my first shop on the list has to be Woolcrest Textiles. This is in Hackney, and I have a dedicated video where I went to the shop, showed you what they had, how like everything is arranged. So I'm going to link that here so you can check that out if you haven't seen it already. But this is like a warehouse that stocks any fabric you can think of under the sun. So from your wools to your cottons to jerseys to polyesters to chiffons, they have a very good mix of fabrics in store. I would say it's useful to know what you're looking for before you go there, else you will just spend 2 hours walking round and round and round in circle and buying fabrics that you don't actually need, because you will just see something you like, you did not plan to buy, and you'll buy. So have a plan of what you are looking for, like the kind of fabric, the color, the quantity. Just have a list as you are going there, because it's easy to feel overwhelmed when you walk into that warehouse and you're like, where do I even start? There is so much fabric here. So that's one tip I would like to say. Another tip is some of the prices are usually written on the fabric section, but I would say it doesn't hurt to bargain or put forth a price to them, especially if you're buying a lot. So if you're buying like 10-15 meters, just tell them, oh, can you do it for me at XYZ price? And you might end up saving £1 or £2 if you're willing to do that. All right, now their price point, it goes from as cheap as £1 to as expensive as £10-15 from what I've seen. So the variety there is quite good, and the price point is sort of, it suits everybody depending on what your budget is. I shop there a lot for my brand, and I tend to get a lot of like staples, so like my lining, denim, like plain wool, plain cotton, those like staples that they will most likely not sell off, and even if they sell out, they would like restock, because it's one of those things that you would always need in a collection or in their own like stock or inventory. Second on my list is Goldhawk Road. This is around Shepherd's Bush. There is a Westfield there. I think it's a White City Westfield, and it's not too far from there. So it's somewhere that's pretty central to London. You can either get the Central line, I think the Circle line, or you can take a bus to this location. Now this is a road that literally just has store after store after store after store, and it's a great place to shop for fabrics, because if you don't find it in store A, you can go to store B or store C, and at the end of the day you might end up with something that you like. Now Goldhawk Road is known for having prices that are a little bit higher, so the same fabric that you will see at Goldhawk Road, if you go to say Woolcrest or like a market, you might find it for cheaper. So I always advise people to be willing to bargain. Like, it's like, just go there. If they say it's £5, just ask them, oh, can you do it for me £3.50? Just that, you would not lose anything. Just ask anyway. So because it was one of those places that when I was in uni, Goldhawk Road was my jam. When I was in uni, like me and my classmates, we just go there who collect fabric swatches look around, because fabric research was always something that we did for every project in uni. So they knew fashion students, and they still know fashion students on Goldhawk Road. I don't know if they still give fabric swatches, but back then it depended on the store. If you asked, they might have cut like a tiny square for you so you could add to your portfolio when you were working on a project. Number 3 is Wathamstow Market. I love going to Wathamstow Market, especially before the pandemic hit. It just had this Yaba Balogun market vibe. Like, if you live in Lagos, Nigeria, you'll know what I mean. It had this like bustling spirit, because it was a road that over the weekends or like on particular days somewhere in Walthamstow, they just converted into a market. So you see people selling food, fabrics, toys, shoes, bags, and it just felt like so alive back then. I haven't gone since the pandemic hit, but I used to love shopping at Walthamstow. So it's a place that you could find a lot of different things aside fabrics, but they do have multiple fabric stores along that road. It's not too far from the Wathamstow station, so it's easy to actually find. You will not miss it. Once you come out of the station, I think you might even see signs pointing in the direction of the market. Now the prices here are a little bit on the more affordable side. From my experience, I find that the fabrics at Walthamstow tend to be a lot more affordable compared to Goldhawk Road, or going to Liberty, or going into a John Lewis haberdashery, for example. Now I would say you have to know, or have a you have to be able to identify quality fabric. That's what I'll have to say with Walthamstow. Like, it's a hit or miss. Now I've gone there, I've bought some fabrics that were so amazing and I was able to use for my projects, and I've also gotten fabrics that I got them and I was like, what was I thinking buying this fabric? So just take your time, touch the fabrics, ask them if you can buy a small quantity today. Maybe you go home, test it, come back and buy more, because you don't want to run the risk of buying a fabric, you get home, maybe you wash it and then it bleeds and you can't use it again, or you just wasted your money. So the next on my list is Fabricland. Now Fabricland is a brand or a company that has multiple stores around the UK. So depending on where you are, you have to search for the one closest to you. Luckily for where I am, there's one not too far from me, so I always tend to go there when I need to buy my last minute zips, my last minute buttons. If I think about a project that I'm really excited about and I want to work on it like in the next 2 to 3 days, I'll just run into Fabricland and buy what I need. Their price point is quite varied. You can get things from as cheap as £1 to as expensive as £20. I think that's the most expensive thing I've seen there, maybe for like a silk. I think was silk, like a lace situation, but it's a very good like variety and mix in terms of price points. They usually stock a very good variety of fabrics as well, from your natural to your polyester to your like blends, your man-mades, wools, felt. I always enjoy shopping in Fabricland. I have a dedicated video as well where I went into the store, show you guys what they had, and bought some bits for myself. So it's a place I would get stuff for myself and for my brand, and it doesn't hurt to go there. I would say they tend to have a very good variety of print cottons. So the type of fabric you would use for your pajama sets, your sundresses, your bed sheets, children's wear. I found that Fabricland tends to have a very wide selections of those type of fabrics. They also tend to have a very good selection of jersey prints, wools, and suiting fabrics. That, like, whenever I go there, there's always like a very good mix of those types of fabrics. Next up is Empee Silks, aka known as Wholesale Fabrics online, because they have a physical store and they have like an online store. Now I've never been to the physical store. They have an address. If you search them on Google, you can actually go there, but I always shop online. And what I love about Empee Silks is their model is sort of like a wholesale model. The minimum you can order from them is 10 meters. So this is another great place that I tend to buy a lot of basics like cotton, denim, or if I'm looking for an inexpensive print to add into my collection just to add flavor and diversity, I tend to go on Empee Silks. Now their prices are actually really good. You can find fabrics for as cheap as 150, £2 a meter from there. There's a particular jumper I did from my collection from last October. It was a jumper that had two surfaces. It was a scuba that was green on one side and gray on one side, and I got that fabric from Empee silks. I combined that fabric with another woven material to make, I think I did the jumper in black and in green, and that was one of my best sellers last year. So it's one of those places that I would say when you found like your main expensive gang fabric, I say go on Empee silk, go in the store and go on the website and find something that you can now use to balance out the collection in terms of color, in terms of print, or any other thing that you think you just need to add in there. Now the next couple of stores on this list are on the higher price points in terms of cost per meter of the fabric you're looking for, and the first store on my list is Misan Textiles. I think they have multiple like branches around the UK, because I know I've seen one on, is it Berwick Street, and then I've seen one on Goldhawk Road. I've definitely seen one on Goldhawk Road because I've shopped at that one. Now what I like about Misan Textiles is they've really like organized the fabrics in such a way that they've grouped them according to the fabric composition, sometimes in terms of color. So it's easy to just go in, look around and find what you're looking for, because everything is very tidy, very organized. The staff is always very helpful when you go in there. And I know the one on Goldhawk Road, if you go up the stairs, they have like a section for discounted fabrics, trims, zips, you know, things like that that you could possibly get for yourself or for your business. Now the price is a little bit on the higher side, and I guess your money kind of pays for the experience you have, because the fabrics that are there, especially downstairs on the ground floor, they are a little bit more pricey, but you always get good quality when you shop from there. Now I don't know if they still give fabric swatches, because since I've been there I've never asked for fabric swatches, but I don't know, it's worth asking. If you go into the store, if you see a particular fabric that you like, just ask them, do you give fabric swatches, and possibly they might give you some. But it's worth knowing that it's on the higher side, so when you walk in there, even if you don't want to buy anything, it's always nice to get inspiration and just to like have a good look around the store, feed your eyes, feed your creative spirit, and just enjoy being in the store. Next up is Mcculloch and Wallis. I don't know if I said that name right. I've never been able to pronounce that name right, but I think this store is on Poland Street. I feel like it's on Poland Street or Berwick Street. It's been ages since I've been there, but it's not too far from Oxford Street Station. It's a couple of minutes walk and you get to that street. If you type into Google Maps Mcculloch and Wallis, you will find the exact address for the store. Now this was a store that wasn't too far from my fashion school when I was studying, so we would always go there. They would always give us fabric swatches. Like, it was just a known thing, oh, fashion students are here, so they'll just cut us like tiny inch of like fabrics that we liked, so we could take and add to our like research. I think they even had like a particular rail just with like cards that you could just cut off your own swatch and just get it done, so you don't bother them in store. But the pricing there is a little bit on the higher side, but they have such beautiful fabrics, like the most elegant evening wear, bridal fabrics, suiting. Like, you know when you touch fabric and you're like, this is good quality. Like, you can feel the quality when you touch the fabric. That is the experience when you walk into that store. Like, it's the kind of store that is made for people who make like couture, really high-end garments would go, because the pricing in there is a little bit like, how much will I sell this dress if I'm buying a meter of the fabric at £50? Like, really though? Like, it's a little bit on the high side. So except if you just want to spoil yourself or gift someone a fabric from there, it is a bit pricey if you're someone who makes entry-level garments in terms of like your price points, or just in terms of how much you're willing to spend on material. Now, sticking with places that have that higher priced experience luxury feeling, the next one has to be Liberty. Now Liberty is like a department store that has clothing, beauty, lifestyle products, and they also have their own Liberty fabrics. Now they have a website as well that you could shop on if you can't make it to the store. But Liberty is one of those places that you just go for the experience. You don't even want to buy anything, you just walk into the store, and the ground floor is like for beauty and accessories, I think. And then I think you have to take the elevator or take the stairs to walk up to their haberdashery, where you can find fabrics, sewing patterns, threads, all that kind of like DIY craft type thing. Now I have not bought a lot of fabrics from Liberty, but I think I've done a video where I took you guys along with me to the Liberty store, and I'll link it here so you can check that out. Well, I'll also link it to the description box down below so you can visit the shop virtually before you go there in person. So their prices are a little bit higher because it's meant to be like a high-end department store, so it makes sense that their fabrics are not exactly cheap in terms of pricing. So I would recommend you go there if you just want somewhere to get inspired, have a look around. You could also check out their designer section where they have like high-end luxury designers in store if you are looking to see how high-end and luxury designer products are actually finished. This is something that I like to do for myself, because if a garment is priced at £500, I want to understand why. Like, is it the trimming, is it the seams, is it the buttons? So I actually like to go in stores, look inside of the garments, see how they are finished, because that's also research for me and also research for my brand, aside from going there to shop fabrics. Last and definitely not least is John Lewis. Now there's a John Lewis in almost every major city in London. It's just one of those shops, and it's very well known in the UK. There's one where I live, there's one on Oxford Street, there's one almost every major borough that if you Google you would find. Now they usually would have a haberdashery on, I don't know, second, third, whatever floor depending on the store, and I visited the one at Oxford Street. I think I did a video recently. Now their fabrics there tend to be, they're not always expensive. Well, that's the thing with John Lewis, because I've actually bought like some fabrics from there. Sometimes you might go there and find like fabrics on sale for less than £15, and it could be something that you buy as a treat for yourself or to make a particular garment for a client. Now when we were in uni, we would go there just to do research to see what they had, what their prices were selling like, and what kind of materials they had in stock. They also have trims, they have patterns, they have a lot of supplies for knitting, crocheting, for like patchwork, and for there's this art that you do where you put the material inside a round rim and you go in with a needle. There's a particular name for this. If you know, let me know in the comment section down below. They have a lot of like kits for that as well. They have sewing machines, irons, a lot of things for like DIY craft and design. So it's a place that has way more than fabrics. I love going there. Like whenever I find a John Lewis and I have spare time to kill, I would always walk around, see what fabrics they have. And even for my wedding, there was a particular decor that we made to put inside the church. I got the fabrics and the buttons from John Lewis as well. So it's a place that is not always expensive. Just be willing to look around. Even if you just get like a meter of a particular fabric you like, you could combine it with a less expensive fabric that you already have in stock or that you can grab from somewhere else. So those are all of the shops as shared in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm going to leave all of their addresses in the description box down below, so if you wanted to visit them for yourself, you know where to find them. You could easily also search on Google for their addresses, phone numbers, just to find out if they're open and what their opening times are like. Now I would say it's always useful to know what you're looking for in any fabric shop before you go there, or if you're going there for an experience, just be careful to not buy fabrics that you don't actually need, because I'm very guilty of that. Like whenever I go into a fabric shop, it's like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that, and that overconsumption and constantly buying is something I'm personally trying to work on. So I just thought I should throw it out there. Only buy fabrics you actually need, and if you're not using a fabric, try to upcycle it, try to reuse it, or gift it or sell it to someone that would actually find use for it. If you guys know any other fabric shops in the UK, in London, please share in the comment section down below, so this video becomes like a directory for people who are looking for fabric shops in the UK or in London. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment all your thoughts, suggestions and ideas down below, and until my next video, have a good morning, afternoon and evening wherever you are. Bye.